Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
In that same year, you had the left side destroying Teslas, destroying Tesla buildings, committing violence.
And they used the auto pen and everything. He didn't approve this stuff. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom.
All right, here we go, baby, here we go. And we're gonna get it started here, just making sure everything's looking good. Are we looking good on the stream? Are we in the right settings? Yeah, we're looking good, we're looking good. All right. Solid, here we go, guys. Let's check out our stream on the site here. All right. How we looking, guys? You got, how's the chat? Nurse, hello. What's happening? Louis, what's happening? We're about to get started. Let's go.
So you were just watching live as we heard from Mayor Smiley, Governor McKee, and Colonel Perez, which is the chief of police there in Providence, Rhode Island, as they had some updates. And it seemed like many questions are still left unanswered, Harold.
Yeah, first of all, good to be with everybody. Unfortunate day. Prayers across the world, Australia, California, Brown University, obviously Syria, and the families, our fallen soldiers, their families. The press conference here, I think we were remarking around the table, probably could have been a little more organized in how they delivered some of the information. I give them a lot of grace and a lot of. Remember, when we had the shooting just not far from here in New York, the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO. It took several days to find Luigi Mangione. We had a bunch of leads and a bunch of things were coming in. Even our own Charlie Kirk, they arrested or detained somebody, at least one person, before finding the person. But this press conference here, I wish they had led with. Jesse and I were talking. That video they released, a new video, that was just 2 hours before the alleged shooting took place by whomever.
Okay, we're going to jump into this in a second. I want to get over to this really quick. So this guy, Rob Reiner, is the one that was unfortunately... his life was taken away, him and his wife, from apparently by his son. And so his son is currently in jail as a result of that. And he had a lot to say. He was very outspoken. You guys probably know that. What's up, nurse? Doing good, doing good. Got my gym in today and got a lot of things done today. So it's a very productive Monday. But this guy was very outspoken. He was talented, but he didn't like Trump. And a lot of people are wondering, what is it that he said about Trump? What's the deal with this guy? Yes, I agree, nurse. It's very sad. It's very sad. The guy was apparently brutally unalived, and it's not. That shouldn't happen to anybody. And we're not going to do like what they did with Charlie Kirk and say, oh, this guy deserved it and this should have happened and all that. No, I just was curious because I didn't know what this guy said about Donald Trump. And so I went and looked for it and I found it. So this is some of what he said about Trump. Apparently he said a lot more. And this is what I've found so far, which was deleted, by the way. So check this out. This is from CNN.
His new movie, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, is out now. And his new book, A Fine Line Between Stupid and Clever, the story of Spinal Tap, also out. And you actually were just on Kimmel, Rob. And I wonder how you're reflecting on that. You were promoting Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. What's your message to Jimmy Kimmel today?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm a friend of Jimmy's, and what happened to him is unconscionable.
So just to give you context, this interview happened right around the time when Jimmy Kimmel was canceled. He was taken off his show, and everyone blamed Trump. They said Trump did it. Oh, it was Trump. It was Trump. And then we had to remind them, Trump doesn't own the company. The company is not a government agency. It's a private, not private, but it's a company. And people are allowed to fire people in companies if they don't perform. It is what it is. And so Jimmy Kimmel, I showed you guys numbers when this was all happening. I put out charts and graphs and you guys saw all the numbers. They're negative. Their profitability is negative. They're losing money for the second year in a row running Jimmy Kimmel. I own a business. If you own a business and you're losing money, wouldn't you make a change? Yeah. Anyway, so let's check out what he's saying.
It just can't happen. And, you know, what's happening now, it goes way beyond Jimmy Kimmel. We're in a war. We're in a war right now for our democracy. Trump has declared war on this democracy. I mean, first of all, he throws people out of the country without due process. He takes funds that were appropriated by Congress, refuses to distribute them in clear contradiction to the Constitution's separation of powers. He's browbeating businesses and universities and law firms. I mean, this is way beyond just Jimmy Kimmel. We're fighting 200. This is a man who's a convicted felon, an adjudicated sex offender and business fraud. And he has decided that our 250 years of American democracy is going to be wiped out and is doing it within the last 8 months. Well, there's a lot of people, not just the show business community. There are a lot of people all over this country that are not going to stand for that.
Exactly, Louis. And here's the thing is, I'm not going to try to bash this guy. And I'm not going to bash this guy. This guy was just brutally murdered from what I know, from what we all know. But we're going to speak to the talking points. Just like Louis said, these are liberal talking points. So forget about Rob Reiner. But these are talking points from the left, right? We know that. These are literally talking points from the left. Trump is destroying the country. Trump is ruining democracy. When in fact, Trump is probably the most America first president I've ever had in my lifetime. So, a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense, but let's listen to see what it is, and then we'll talk about it.
For this, and we're going to start
What's up, Jonah?
Organizing. You have to understand, this to me is a very personal thing. Aside from the fact that I'm in show business, I'm already a libtard. I'm already a pariah. I understand with the Trump administration, but this is way, way beyond that for me. It's very personal. My wife, her mother was in Auschwitz. Her whole family died there. Her mother was the only one that survived. My Uncle Charlie was part of the D-Day invasion. My second father, Norman Lear, flew 52 bombing missions over Nazi Germany so that we would, and millions of people died, so that we would never, ever have what we are seeing happen now here in America. It's unconscionable. You are not.
So the question, the blaring question is, there's these talking points that are being said, but what exactly are you saying? What specifically are you saying is what Trump did? What did he do exactly? What's up, Jennifer? I know it's 1 a.m. and it's a late night. It's a late one tonight. It is what it is. We're going with it. We're just going to do it. I had to do it. So why would he support the anti-Semitism party? Very good question. Here's the thing is, America, Democrats are very liberal and they're very woke. And right now, to be liberal, to be woke means to side with Islam. It's very, very interesting. And that's anti-Semitic. That's what's coming out of the liberal party right now is anti-Semitism. This guy is using all the talking points of the liberals. And it just, again, we're not talking about Rob Reiner. We're just talking about the talking points. It's very odd to me.
going to take 250 years, that shining city on a hill, that the beacon to the rest of the world, which is now looked down upon by our allies, and destroy it. We're just not.
Somebody on Instagram says, "Are you a Jew?" No, I'm not a Jew.
Going to stand for it, and there's a lot of people that are going to be standing up in the near future, and you're going to see a big pushback. There's no question about it. He's declared war on the First Amendment, on the Constitution, and we're not going to take it.
You heard what Michael Eisner said, former chief of Disney, right? Very supportive of Jimmy Kimmel. But you
JJJ says it's okay for all Democrats to talk crap about Charlie Kirk, but Trump says one thing and everyone loses their minds. What's up, Mac? What's happening, buddy? How's that hanging? Yeah, it's. I mean, it is what it is, man. Here's the thing: liberals want to say they're liberal and they're for freedom of speech and all this kind of stuff, but they're the ones that shut down freedom of speech. They're the ones that say whatever they want, but if you do it, they got to stop you. And that's kind of what it is. Trump says. I mean, and here's the other thing about Trump. Here is the big thing about Trump is, Trump is Trump. He says all kinds of things. You may not agree with everything he says. I may not agree with everything he says or the way he says things, which I don't really care, to be honest with you. But people may agree or disagree with what he says or how he says things. But the proof is in the pudding with Trump. It's what he does. Trump is the greatest, most America first president we've ever had. He has done the most to protect and to make America strong. And we can debate that. I'm happy to go over that with anybody that wants to talk about it. Totally down to do that. And then you can call in and we can go over it. But that's in my opinion a fact. Right now, last year, for the last 4 years under Biden, it was the most unsecure border in the history of our country. Literally the most unsecure. Not insecure, unsecure in this case, I think. And just a year later, we have the most secure border in the history of our country. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And there's a lot more that we can get into. That's just one of the things. But again, when this guy wants to get out here and say, let's just say not this guy, but liberals in general want to get out there and say that Trump is destroying this country. This guy went into a whole thing about my dad fought this and my grandfather fought here and we did this and we thought that, all this kind of different stuff. Talked about Auschwitz and all this stuff. To say at the end that Trump is ruining our country. And how? He didn't say how. He didn't say what he's doing. Let's keep listening.
You also see how the Trump administration is pulling on certain levers of government, and not just in the case of Jimmy Kimmel, right, but other cases as well, in a way that's extraordinary. And these big companies, if they have business that requires some kind of sign-off, regulators, the Trump administration has discretion there. And you see how some of these companies are responding. What do you think about that?
Well, they're scared. There's no question they're scared. I mean, we in Hollywood, we know what this idea of browbeating people and intimidating people, we know what this is. We had it back in the 1950s with the McCarthy era, where people were blacklisted, people couldn't get work, people were thrown in jail. And we fought back. The committee to protect the First Amendment was founded by people like Henry Fonda, who fought back. And when people unite, and they're united, and their strength in numbers, we know that. And it's not going to just be the Hollywood community. It's going to be, we're going to have to reach out to business. We're going to have to reach out to the universities and the law firms and everybody who's affected by this. Because ultimately, yes, they're going to cave now. But if they cave, and if everybody starts to cave, within a very short period of time, something that we've built for 250 years will no longer exist.
The FCC chair, Brendan Carr.
How exactly will it no longer exist? What is being done that you are so strongly saying it will no longer exist? That's the thing about the left, man. They say all these words without actually saying anything.
Carr was on Fox yesterday and he said, quote, "I don't think this is the last shoe to drop. This is a massive shift in the media ecosystem, and I think the consequences are going to continue to flow." What's the sense of, late night TV now and this moving in a bigger way into the film industry?
Well, it's moving into every form of communication. We're seeing it. This is 1A, 1.A, whatever, in the authoritarian's playbook. Control the media, control the message.
Control the media, control the message. You mean like Biden did when he used the FBI to tell Twitter and Instagram and Facebook what to say, and now YouTube just came out and admitted that they did it to them too? Is that what you're talking about? How is Trump... This is what I always say to people that saw the Jimmy Kimmel situation and they blamed it on Trump. Trump has been openly speaking about how much he hates media, the mainstream media, these talk show hosts and all this stuff. He's been saying it for years. Nothing's ever happened. Now the guy gets fired because he sucks. Jimmy gets fired because he sucks. And it's Trump's fault? Trump's hated these guys for years. He didn't do it. Nothing happened. Then the guy finally gets fired because he sucks, and the ratings are shit, and their negative profitability is negative. 2 years in a row negative. That's not good. And it's Trump's fault? Everything's Trump's fault. You notice that? That's crazy, bro.
Make sure that only what we have to say and only what we believe will get out to the public. That goes and flies 180.
You think if Trump controlled the media, all these media companies, these mainstream media would be out here just going hard the way they're going on him? Have you watched Saturday Night Live? Did any of you guys watch Saturday Night Live this Saturday that passed, or the one before that, or the one before that? Saturday Night Live is no longer like a Saturday Night Live that it was when we grew up. It's a pure Trump bashing session. That's all it is. From beginning to end, they're bashing Trump on Saturday Night Live. It's no longer real comedy. It's literally an outlet to try to bash Trump in the weirdest ways. They're making Trump out to be the sleepy president. Imagine coming from their Biden. They're telling us, they're trying to portray Trump as a sleepy president. We all know Biden's nickname.
Degrees against the First Amendment of the Constitution. So what you're saying is basically destroy the Constitution. And Trump even said...
Destroy the Constitution? How? You're just saying words, destroy the Constitution. That's all you're saying is the words, destroy the Constitution. Nothing else to specify how or why, what makes you say that? Like what exactly?
I don't know if I have to pay attention or believe and listen to everything in the Constitution. It can't happen. If it does happen, Brianna, you're not going to be speaking the way you're not going to be having this program. You're not going to let somebody like me come on and talk. It'll be state-run media, and that's going to be for all television. They're making a big investment in TikTok. When you're seeing, that's coming from Paramount and now Skydance. All of this will now start to be controlled by state media, and that is the basis for authoritarian rule. You see it in every country who has it.
Well, Rob Reiner, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here.
Dawn says she turned off the TV over 10 years ago. I agree. I'm down with that. I did that too. I've been on YouTube and everything.
And by the way, this may be the last time you ever see me because, I'm there's only a couple of them.
Rob Reiner's
crazy. All right. Before we go to Gutfeld, Just say again, it's very heartbreaking. I'll just say it's not cool. It's very sad. It's fucked up that Rob Reiner is no longer alive, possibly at the hands of his son. It's not cool. But it's wild to me how people could be so far off the deep end with some of these things, and it's like they don't think it through. It's like they're allergic to facts in some cases. It's very, very odd to me. Very weird. Anyway, let's look at gunfire. Let's just go.
Yes! Happy holidays! Don't forget to try my mistletoe eggnog. Happy Monday, everyone. On Sunday, former President Joe Biden went to see the Eagles play in Philadelphia. He left extremely disappointed after being there for 5 hours and not hearing them play Hotel California. Biden's presidential library reportedly received a very few donations in 2024. But on a positive note, at least they broke ground.
Han says, I think Trump was wrong with what he said. There's a piece of me that also felt that way. And still, I feel that way a little bit. But I will go back to what I originally said, Hans, is that Trump is Trump. And yes, we can call it wrong to say that when the guy was just, murdered, right? But Trump is Trump. He doesn't always say the right thing. It's Trump's, with him, it's the proof is in the pudding. It's his actions, not what he says or how he says what he says. A lot of times we don't agree with what he says or how he says things, but what he does is what's important.
Ground on his other project.
Oh, God.
I don't get it. It's just a hole of dirt. President Trump spoke at the White House Christmas party over the weekend. He then asked,
the learned mind says, not going to make me throw the baby out with the bathwater. Exactly what I meant. That's, everyone has their, good and bad and positive and negative. And, not everybody's perfect. Trump, has a way with words. So that's just how he is, and you know what? That might be what got him to be where he is, to do all these good things for our country, right? Actually, we know that's what got him. That's part of what got him there. And literally the guy has done some of the most amazing things for our country since I've ever been born, like in every, out of every president in my lifetime. So I don't know.
Pete Hegseth to please stop trying to blow up everybody's Uber. That was a filler. Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar claims her son was pulled over by ICE agents and asked to prove his citizenship. And when the son berated the cops saying, "Do you know who my dad is?" they said, "Yes, your uncle." Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has just approved a law legalizing assisted suicide in Chicago. I guess that means he will allow people to walk outside.
Is that true?
Oh my God, that's good.
Zootopia 2 is #1 at the box office and has made $1 billion worldwide. Meanwhile, Animal Farm is set to be released, marking a watershed year for talking beasts. Democrat Benjamin Shower announced he is running for the Iowa House. It's the first house he plans to enter that doesn't start with the word waffle. We needed that picture.
What's up, chicken?
And finally, the guy's like 800 pounds. And finally, a bar in North Carolina is offering women free drinks if they bring a picture of the man who cheated on them. Oddly enough, they all keep bringing in the same picture. All right, I'm going to do my monologue. In her acceptance speech for the Walter Cronkite Award, Rachel Maddow announced the story of our age. And it's not immigration, AI, or even Sydney Sweeney's knockers. It's protesting against Trump.
But there's no way that we could do national media coverage of the remarkably decentralized protests against the Trump administration without our partners in local news, without some of the geniuses in this room today. The story of our age, I really believe, the story of our democracy right now is not a Washington story.
It's how you're killing yourself to look like a man?
And it is not easy.
You're doing everything possible so you can look like a man? Is that what the story of what is
to cover? But right now, it is the most important story in the world.
All right, Steve. Yeah, she called those in the room geniuses. Sorry, the only genius is you, Rachel, for getting paid a ton of money for working 1 day a week, just like the team that waxes my back. She tells her fellow hacks that the most important story right now is opposing Trump. Not the.
What is crazy to me right now, and I'm just going to go back to that image of her, him, they, them. Well, I don't even know, bro. But the crazy part is the women on the left no longer like any of the men on the left unless the men are either gay or have transitioned to become a woman. And on top of that, the women on the left are killing themselves to look as much like men as possible. It's the craziest, wildest mindfuck you've ever had in your life. So think about this. If you're a guy on the left, you can't get any girls on the left side unless you start looking like a girl or you're gay or something. Like, it's wild to me. And the girls you have to choose from, they look like this. This is crazy,
Rachel,
bro.
for getting paid a ton of money for working 1 day a week, just like the team that waxes my back. She tells her fellow hacks that the most important story right now is opposing Trump. Not the Biden cover it, the migrant catastrophe, the fentanyl epidemic. If she were on the Titanic.
Dude, fentanyl. You guys want to trip out on fentanyl? Guys, Trump, if you guys haven't seen, Trump has now, I'll pull it up when we get to that video. Trump has made fentanyl, he's classified fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. Think about that. And I'll save you the time. I looked it up. You can Google it. You can AI it, whatever you want to do. Fentanyl kills over 70,000 Americans per year. That's documented. And the majority of those fentanyl deaths in our country are a result of people thinking they're taking something else when in fact they don't know, but it's fentanyl instead. And why do I give a shit? Well, for a lot of reasons, but another big reason is someone somewhat close to me and a whole group of other people, it's a friend of a friend, almost died. This guy and a group of friends almost died doing this very thing. Absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. And what Trump said is crazy. It's reality. But fentanyl is killing more people than any bombs. It's crazy.
She'd be pushing the benefits of an ice plunge. It is telling that the truly big stories that somehow don't matter are exactly the same ones she completely missed. But she avoids truth the way Jerry Nadler's staffers avoid skid marks on the couches.
Oh, man.
Hell, her getting an award for journalism is like crowning Kathy Griffin Miss USA. But what if she's right? That protesting Trump is the only thing that matters. For her industry, it's been true for years. But Maddow's track record should make them all reconsider that assumption. Let's casually run through her notable predictions. Who could forget the classic Trump is a Russian asset, breathlessly connecting dots that didn't exist? Remember this?
This guy Kalimnik keeps turning up again and again. Konstantin Kalimnik. He's still Russian military intelligence. Kalimnik, a short man who goes by Kostya. Konstantin Kalimnik, investigating Konstantin Kalimnik for espionage. This guy Konstantin Kalimnik is the...
How many hours and hours and days and months and I don't know, maybe years did they spend trying to make Trump out to be like the friend of the Russians and some kind of Russian something or other, whatever. So crazy to me.
key that unlocks that door.
And then they went and investigated that. They combed the entire earth to find a shred of evidence that Trump was with the Russians somehow. Learn Mind says it was years, bro. Yeah, years. Years. They went insane. They went crazy. They combed every inch of the planet to find any kind of evidence to show that Trump is a Russian asset or something like that. And to what end? To what end? To zero? Goose egg? Zero? God damn.
Or it seems like it would have to be.
You know, that's not sound analysis.
If they would just work on ideas and plans and policies and stuff that can actually that's attractive for the country, that's gonna benefit the country, they would, it would work. They will win election. They'll crush it. Right on, man. Leaving Call says, I'm sub, man. This is the shit I have been thinking also. Hell yeah, bro. Appreciate you, dude. Right on. Dude, it's mind-boggling, bro. All they got to do, but here's the thing, guys, is they've been after Trump, Orange Man bad for so long, they forgot how to learn how to come up with policy, how to think of ideas. They don't know how to think of ideas anymore. They're done. Dude, they had a whole election where you had Biden and then Kamala back to back. Talk about no new policy, nothing they will do to help America. Imagine that. And then Kamala's like, I didn't have enough time. Enough time to do what? This person says, please read what we're doing here too on Instagram. Okay. Let's see. What did you say here? Then they think they're more likely to change sex. Yeah. All right. I got to check out what their Instagram's mad, bro. I got to link Instagram into here somehow. My bad.
It's the rantings of someone who sees the Virgin Mary in her cornflakes. She also said Joe Biden was doing just fine because, he rides a bike.
The fact of his age is not something you can rebut. You can't tact it. If someone says you're too...
Look at this now. Look at this. Look at how this guy looks. Bro, they look like... Bro, this guy... Major beta, bro. Beta. Can you say beta male? Beta male. Oh, man. So crazy, bro. Animus says they don't want solutions. They create problems so they can tell the people it's the right's fault, then sell more solutions that make it worse so they can keep blaming the right and getting power. They want to sell solutions. I'm going to add to what you said, and I agree with what you said, Animus, that they want to sell solutions that involve the government being your solution. They don't want you to have any responsibility, and they want to grow the government. They want to have the government to come and solve everything. They don't want to grow up. They want parents to do everything for you. They don't ever want to have any accountability or responsibility. It's crazy. SC Goralski says, I think you're right. There are no policies. They've squandered their time. They're followers. Come on, guys.
Far left, you can tack to the center. You
Look
something
at this
you can rebut.
retard, bro. Listen.
You can't tack to, if someone says you're too far left, you can tack to the center. The man is 80 years old.
He rides a bike.
He is the age he is, and so it's.
What's up, Ingib Garguni? I don't know how to say your name. Says, Rep America, love you too from Awakened Person in Iceland. Right on, right on. W Iceland, bro. You got to wake up. You guys, Iceland, bro. Are you guys, is that, wow, dude, that's far away. Hello, hello. Good to have you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Go on YouTube. Do you have fun in the,
Does she
in the
not
chat
remember
on
that he
YouTube?
fell off the bike? You know, lady, Biden would come in third place in a game of tic-tac-toe. She even dismissed the idea that Joe would drop out of the race as fantasy. He dropped out a month later. Of course, she said that there was no problem on Biden's border. She warned that MAGA election officials would refuse to certify results and
Yeah, leaving Call is right. Or leaving Cali. Oh, it's leaving Cali. Leaving Cali is right. We need to watch out for Islam too. We do. We got to watch out. Dude, Australia is, if you guys don't know, Australia is super woke. Okay? Super liberal, super woke. And you know what it means to be liberal and woke these days? It means to be on the side of Islam, right? And it's to overlook Islam. The two guys that went on the shooting spree in Australia, father, son. The son was known to be associated, it was known by Australia to be associated with a terror group, a terrorist organization. What did they do? Oh, he's so cute. Look at our little terrorist little buddy. That's what they did. And in a country with really, really strict gun laws, they allowed that guy to have the max amount of guns you can have. Isn't that crazy to you? That's insane. And guess, okay, here's the crazy part. Guess what their response is? Guess the response. It's not about, oh, you know, we should have been more diligent. We should have, you know, tighter gun laws. It's to take away your rights. We said this on the stream the other day. Someone said it. When you outlaw guns, only the outlaws will have guns. What's up, boo-boo boss? You outlaw guns, only the outlaws will have guns. Now this guy want to disturb. Yeah, so that's the thing, man. Australia is so woke, so liberal. They love Islam. They overlook it. They look the other way. They're afraid to be Islamophobic. God forbid they look at metrics and numbers and anything that makes any sense. And they let this guy have guns. And then the response is to take away more of their freedom of speech and to enforce stricter gun laws. Crazy, bro. Crazy. They're just when I thought the country was getting, well, I know that people in the country are standing up now more than ever. That's a reality. That's just the truth. There are thankfully, thanks to Trump, to be honest, thanks to Trump for getting elected, for changing the path of our country. These other countries like Australia and other countries in Europe and Canada, they're enabled now to stand up for their own countries. So what's the solution? He says, the solution is to start looking at numbers. and not be afraid to call out the perpetrators. If people are, here's some facts. If people immigrating from Islamic countries into Western countries, if those people are more likely to commit violent crime based on statistics and metrics and the numbers, you should look at that and make a decision that's better for your citizens. Call it out. You're not racist for calling out the numbers. You're not racist for calling out truth. They are facts. Don't be allergic to facts. You can talk about facts. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. Let's see what someone here on Injib is saying. Thank you for reading my post. Awaken spiritually. Okay, someone else says, how about 4 huge buses dropping off small statured black people on every busy street? Buses, skirt. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Yes, thank you, Boo Boo. Thank you. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe to my channel, and we're gonna have more fun. We have a lot of fun. It's an interactive channel. We're in it, and we're not scared to talk about stuff. You know what I mean? So subscribe, jump on it, dude. Jump on it. We're gonna have fun. I do this almost every day, and we have a good time. All right. Don't be a creeper. If you're watching, subscribe. Hit subscribe. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun, and we're gonna talk about real stuff. We're allowed to talk about Islam and not be worried about it. KK Maximus says viewer count is down. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry about the viewer count, bro. You just chill. You're doing good, man. We're not worried about. We do what we do. We're not worried about viewer count.
And plunge the country into
Even though
chaos.
it's good right now.
She then predicted Trump's
It's like
second
700.
term would collapse within 100 days, and openly mused about Americans being rounded up into internment camps.
By
As
the
of
way,
late
it's-
2025, none of this
By the way,
has
it's
happened.
late, bro. We're not
And the
trying
only
to crush for
camps that
views right
exist
now.
are the homeless ones.
We're here together. We're sitting around a campfire together right now. We're chilling. Don't worry. Don't worry about the viewer count.
She even dismissed the idea that Joe would drop out of the race as fantasy. He dropped out a month later. Of course, she said that there was no problem on Biden's border. She warned that MAGA election officials would refuse to certify results and plunge the country into chaos.
This person says, okay, then talk about Israel if we can say whatever. Okay, let's talk about Israel. What do you want to talk about Israel? Let's talk about this. Netanyahu told them that they should be careful because Islam is doing some crazy shit. What'd they do? Nothing. Is that what you wanted to hear? I didn't think so.
She then predicted Trump's second term would collapse within 100 days and openly mused about Americans being rounded up into internment camps. As of late 2025, none of this has happened, and the only camps that exist are the homeless ones on the sidewalks of every blue city in America. But none of this matters because Maddow isn't paid to be right. She's paid to keep a dwindling audience from giving up altogether. She sells a drug to a shrinking mass, but along the way, she got hooked on the fumes. And yet here she is, honored, celebrated,
Hell yeah,
canonized
Hans.
by people as wrong as she is. She broke no stories. Instead, she only broke her brain and those of others who listened to her. But she did the job she was supposed to do. She wasn't questioning power. She was insulating it. On the left, accountability is non-existent. What matters is loyalty. You don't get fired for being wrong, but you get promoted for service to the cause. And that means distributing the marching orders to your minions. Ignore everything else, including stories that actually cost lives. That's the biggest story of all. Can you imagine being a journalist in America and stating in public, with no fear of being held accountable, that your goal is to stop one political side over the other? And you're worshipped by a corrupt, closed...
I'm just going to say ING and Instagram says they're trying to make us all have fear. Yeah, exactly, bro. Of course. The left wants you to be living in fear. That's all they do is they try to stoke fear into you. That's all it is. And there's no solutions. Let's talk about doing things, making things, building things, coming up with policy ideas, stuff like that. Let's go.
Loop, where mistakes are memory hold, narratives outrank reality, and awards are handed out like condoms at a Hunter Biden pool party. Yeah. Maddow is honored because she was wrong, reliably providing an alternative reality to a circle jerk of self-congratulators that's getting smaller by the day. So maybe it's right to call it the Walter Cronkite Award, because they're as dead as he is. Let's welcome.
This guy's Chopped says this guy is quite the hypocrite. He works for a company that paid $800 million for telling you lies. What lies? Which company? Who are you talking about, bro? Tell us. We want to know. We want to know, bro.
Fox News alert. There's a manhunt underway for the shooter who left 2 dead and 9 wounded at Brown University Saturday. Students were holding a study session for finals when a masked man entered the lecture hall.
You say fear-mongering. This guy says Steve says fear-mongering on both sides. It's not as bad. One side, they are lying to you when they do their fear-mongering, and another side is telling you the truth. That's the difference. One side says Trump is taking down democracy. He's a Hitler. They're Nazis. Not true. Oh, he's going against our Constitution. It's a threat to our democracy. Not true. So, and then we have another side that is like, hey, look, this is actually what's happening. You should be careful. It's not fear-mongering, in my opinion.
Armed with a long gun and started firing. Here's an eyewitness.
I was standing in the front, so as soon as he walked in, he immediately saw me and I immediately saw him. And then I look to my right and I see a bunch of students running down the stairs, running out the door, jumping on the ground.
W. Gabrielle on Instagram says, I'm for Trump. Let's go, baby. The Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope. The Great White Hope.
Just whatever it takes to stay alive. When I saw him, I saw a gun. I genuinely thought, okay, this is the end of the road for me.
How soon did he start shooting after he entered the room?
He just started shooting right away. There was no hesitation.
That guy and about 20 other students ducked behind a long desk inside the auditorium and just waited for the gunshots to stop. The AP says around 40 rounds were fired. This went down around 4:05.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. That's the thing, man. The left tells blatant lies, and the right engages in telling you what's happening, bro. If there's an issue, they're gonna tell you about it. Now, I'm not saying that the right is perfect. It's not true, bro. They're not, and I'll call it out. Where it's not good, but the left is by far just they're off the deep end, bro. They're gone. Yeah.
Saturday afternoon in Rhode Island. Brown University didn't send out an alert until 17 minutes later, telling students to shelter in place. And not a single one of the sirens on campus went off. Apparently, the Providence police and campus safety officers didn't make it to the scene of the crime in time to apprehend the shooter. Students were locked down for 9 hours, crouching underneath desks, barricading themselves behind their beds, texting "I love you" to their family, while police went door to door.
Police! Providence police!
Hands up, hands!
At 6 a.m. the following day, Brown lifted the lockdown. One of the victims was 19-year-old sophomore Ella Cook. She was the vice president of Brown's Republican Club, an Alabama native who was a devout Christian. Her pastor described her as a tremendous bright light, and she may have been the most prominent Republican on campus.
Chopped has got Trump derangement syndrome. It's hitting hard. Chopped, you are a Trump hater and you are a beta male.
You are a Trump hater and you are a beta male.
He's talking about the Trump administration, right? Are you trying to say Trump administration is unqualified? Is that what you just said? Is that what you said? Yeah. Coming from Biden's transgender military generals. Is that what you wanted to go back? You want to go back to that, bro? Please.
Brown's considered the most liberal of all the Ivy League schools. So any members of the college Republicans would be very well known.
The family of Ella Cook, the Alabama young woman who was a sophomore, has been told that she was the target of what happened at Brown. I have no idea whether that's true.
And the other thing is, if the police are telling Brown students that they are safe, they don't have to shelter in place anymore, but they don't have a suspect in custody.
Biden had a better economy. You are completely lost. Completely lost. Biden had a better economy with 9% inflation. Bro, you are bro. You literally know no facts. You just watch CNN.
I think that also suggests that this was some kind of targeted attack.
Well, we haven't confirmed that yet, but Primetime's investigating. We're also hearing that the shooter may have screamed something before he opened fire. We haven't confirmed.
So now you're just going to lie, Chopped? Chopped is just going to lie. He's calling Trump a pedo. He's just going to just flat out lie. When all of their Democratic Party are the actual pedos, that's all they do. That's all they do.
And police have been very coy.
There's a report the shooter yelled something right before his shot came in. Could you tell us what that was?
Yeah, it's part of the investigation.
Is there anything else inside that auditorium that you could tell us?
No,
Did he yell though? Did he say something?
That's something that we're investigating. We took statements and we have to confirm.
Is there any audio from the scene?
So,
any cell phones? There are a lot of cell phones there. Question for somebody.
We're gonna wrap it up here.
So a guy walks into an Ivy League building, lets off 40 rounds, murders 2 people, walks out, and 3 days later, we have no idea where he is or who he is. I guess we're assuming it's a he, but we don't even know that for sure. And police won't even say if it's a man or a woman. Police thought.
Honestly, this is some stupid shit. We should be able to figure something out with this guy. Police should have locked it down. Should lock down any way to get out of a given area, and it's just kind of bizarre that they did what they did and don't even have the guy. They should have set up. It's called a perimeter. They should have set it up, and it should have been locked down. You make a small perimeter. If you can't, you make a big one. You make a big perimeter, and you don't let anybody out until you find the killer. This is crazy to me.
Thought they had their suspect. A white Army veteran.
Now someone's in custody. Kind of how you all are working together to garner that information.
Custody is the wrong word.
Someone being detained, rather.
Correct.
But late last night, they said, oops, wrong guy.
Shortly, we will be releasing the person of interest who had been detained earlier today.
Providence Mayor Brett Smiley isn't even sure releasing this guy was the right call.
So you're absolutely convinced the person of interest had nothing to do with this?
We're not saying that definitively. What we're saying is that after a review of the evidence that was gathered, it was determined that the person of interest needed to be released.
CBS is reporting that investigators had to restart the investigation after early missteps that cost them several hours. As things stand tonight, Rhode Island doesn't seem to have any leads. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for any tips that could lead to an arrest. And moments ago, officials held a presser to release new images of the suspected shooter, sporting all black threads with a beanie and a face mask, walking on a sidewalk in the vicinity of the shooting. This was recorded a couple hours before the shooting, so it looks like it was premeditated and this person was casing the area. These are the clearest surveillance videos that we have so far, and there's not much to go on.
Yep.
All I can say is we can probably rule out a black guy. We're looking at a chubby white, Hispanic, or Muslim male, about medium height. Even with the new surveillance out, the police won't tell us anything.
Is there a new description you can give us?
There is, and it will be on that poster that we're going to be releasing on the images.
Okay, so.
All right, let's go here.
I'm Emily Campagno, along with Harold Ford Jr., Jesse Waters, Dana Perino, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. At any moment, we are expecting an update from police and local officials in Rhode Island on the deadly mass shooting at Brown University. Police are still searching for a suspected gunman after releasing a possible suspect earlier. But first to this, the threat of radical Islamic terrorism is once again on our radar after the horrific anti-Semitic attack in Australia. 2 gunmen, a father and son, targeting a Hanukkah celebration on Bondi Beach in Sydney. 15 people were shot to death, including children as young as 8 years old. President Trump praising the efforts of a heroic bystander who bravely tackled one of the suspects to the ground.
It's been a very, very brave person, actually, who went and attacked frontally one of the shooters and saved a lot of lives. So, very brave person who's right now in the hospital, pretty seriously wounded. So, great respect to that man that did that. But we're here for a different reason. We're here to celebrate Christmas and to celebrate, and I think today we can very say loudly, we celebrate Hanukkah because that was such a horrible attack.
Terror attack on the...
The crazy part is this guy in this video, let me go back to that video. This guy in this video is Muslim, all right?
Bravely
the guy
tackled
that took,
one of the...
the guy that you see taking down the Muslim shooter is in fact another Muslim guy. And here's the thing is if Islam is a religion of peace, like a lot of the Muslims are saying these days, right? If they're a religion of peace, more Muslims should be coming out and standing up against this kind of thing. If they're not going to use their physical bodies like this guy, put themselves in harm's way, I should go like this guy, then they should be voicing their opinions. They should be protesting it. If it's a religion of peace, go out and speak against the people that are doing this crazy, hardcore crime, these atrocities. They should speak up. So, you know, that's the, I think one of the big problems that the rest of us have is that they're not doing that. Once in a while they'll do it, and it almost seems fake when they do it. It's like, it's not fake, but it's like forced. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Very, very, very surprised and excited to see another Muslim stop a Muslim. Very excited to see that. Surprised and very excited. There should be more people doing that. More Muslims doing that. You know what I mean? Like, let me put it to you this way. If I was Muslim and other Muslims are doing something that I don't agree with and it's making me look bad as a Muslim and it's not the right thing and I don't agree with it, I will come out and stand up against it. For one, to be like, dude, we're not all like that. And for two, to put a stop to it. Because if I'm a Muslim and I don't like people getting hurt, then I too want to put a stop to it. Right? I mean, it makes sense. So why don't they do that? Why don't you see Muslims on the streets saying, dude, we don't support this. We don't condone this. Right? They should do that. They don't do it. They don't do it. Instead, you see them wearing keffiyehs and going out there and standing up for Hamas. It's weird as shit, bro. It's fucking weird.
The suspects to the ground. Pressure on Democrats here at home.
Let's hear what Fetterman said.
Just call it what it is. Just call it what it is. Anti-Semitism is a worldwide scourge, and it's constantly demonstrated to be deadly, and it keeps manifest itself in these things. It's an absolute betrayal for Israel and for...
Jonah makes a good point about Islam. You hate to say this, but if you have a bag of snakes and some are poisonous, do you stick your hand in the bag? No. That's the problem. You got to do it. And it's not racist or it's not wrong to say, hey, there are some poisonous snakes in this bag. That's another thing. You have a bag of snakes. Some of them are poisonous. It's not wrong to say, hey, by the way, there are poisonous snakes in the bag.
For the worldwide Jewish community, like whether it's France or Australia or any of these nations, our Western allies now calling for a two-state solution when
No, I wouldn't say the same thing for Christians. Someone says, so would you say the same thing for Christians, Medi? No. You don't see Christians doing this in the name of Christianity. Meanwhile, these guys are out there, while they were doing this in Australia, they were yelling Allah Akbar in the name of their God.
Hamas refuses
it's not the same, dude.
To disarm and are actively trying to kill Jews. That is not the appropriate reward after 10/7 and this thing.
And now it looks like the FBI has foiled a potential act of pro-Palestinian terror here on American soil. 4 members of a far-left anti-government group have been...
Bro, as I said, Christians are not doing things in the name of Christianity. They're doing it as part of a military of some government or whatever the case is. They're not yelling Allah Akbar. This is religiously a driven thing.
Been arrested. They are facing charges for allegedly planning a series of bomb attacks.
And besides, there are even more problems. More than this type of a specific terrorist attack in the name of their God or whatever you want to call it. There's other things that are even separate from that. And I said it before, I'll say it again. Muslims that are immigrants going into Western countries are more likely to do 2 things for sure that we know. One is be on welfare, to use more welfare services than other immigrants. The other thing is they are more likely to commit violent crime. Those are facts. Those are actual facts. That's not true for Christians.
Across Southern California on New Year's Eve. Officials say they were motivated by extremist, pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti-government ideology. Dana, a lot to unpack here. You had some powerful interviews during your show earlier this morning.
Yeah, so I think this is what globalizing the Intifada looks like. And if you listen to Call Me Back, which is Dan Senor's podcast, he had one of his regular guests on today who's from Israel, and he's there. And there is intel that has been around since about August, but that's a month after.
American slave trade was done by who again? Muslims, Arabs. Who's asking that? Let me see. Who asked that? The chat's moving too fast. Where is it at? Where is it at, bro? Something about Muslim or the slave trade?
Iran's nuclear weapon stockpile was obliterated by the United States and Israel. So in August, there was this intel that said, basically, there is some state actor out there that is orchestrating these attacks, encouraging these attacks, okay? And you can go through them one by one. You can see there's things happening. There was this in the Christmas market in Germany. That attack was foiled, thank goodness. You had the New Year's celebration in Los Angeles. They foiled that plot today. That was announced earlier. Paris has canceled its New Year's Eve celebrations because they're concerned about this very thing, which to me says they've got intelligence that says that this was possibly going to happen and they didn't know where the people were. And they're like, let's just cancel it in order for everyone to be safe. You had the shooting of our National Guard. You have a call to action, which means that we have to have a continued vigilance and to be on offense. There is only one way to beat back radical Islamic terrorism and anti-Semitism, and that is to be on offense and to have moral clarity, and the moral clarity like what President Trump just discussed. There's no, well, and a maybe, and I think, no, it was, this is wrong, this is anti-Semitism, and he said to the perpetrators of the attack in Syria that killed our people said, oh, there will be retaliation. That is the only way to deal with it. It's a generational struggle. The people who wanted to free Palestine, they didn't just want a peace deal or a ceasefire in Gaza. No, they got the ceasefire, and now they've stepped on the gas just when we need to actually step on the gas for ourselves. If you are going to take steps like canceling school, canceling events, taking away the people's ability to gather in Paris for New Year's Eve, then you better be doubling down on your security, because there's the only way to protect our way of life, our Western way of life that they would like to destroy, is to stay on the offense.
Jesse, to exactly that point, people like Sarah Adams, former CIA targeter, talks about how much open source information there is, meaning not classified, just available readily, that all over the world, there are these cells mobilizing with the stated goal of global intifada that charge people with, hey, shoot up this market, hey, find a school, like it is out there. And why is it that the lawmakers here can't even condemn that? Can't even condemn anti-Semitism? You have normal people like Ahmed El Ahmed that tackle a gunman, that show heroism above and beyond. And elected officials here can't even see that that unchecked anti-Semitism will have fatal consequences.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like after Iran got smoked, they tried to retaliate asymmetrically. They're never really going to be able to hit us back hard, to hit Israel back that hard. But so you'll probably see this go on for years, because that's all they're capable of. And they were warned, as Dana said. They had intel that there was something either being fomented by the mullahs or by ISIS. And you've seen, as the Australians have allowed Muslim immigration into their country, the population of Muslims into Australia has doubled over the last 2 decades. And as that population has grown, there's been a very, very sharp rise in anti-Semitic attacks. Just in the last couple of years, there have been fire bombings of synagogues. There have been fire bombings of Jewish businesses. This is kind of coming to a head there. And I guess maybe they didn't act on the intelligence. I don't know what they did, but there's definitely going to be people that are going to lose their jobs. So the kid was an immigrant. We believe the father was born in Australia, and the kid was on a terror watch list. So that he was all over the government's radar. So the kid's on the watch list, and the dad has an arsenal of weapons. And these weapons are legally held. So the family is on a watch list, and it has an arsenal. What the hell good is the watch list if you're going to allow that? You either have strict gun control, like they said, or you should let the people of Australia arm themselves to protect themselves.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagna.
Let's go to this right here.
No time limit. The time limit is whenever we get it done. I mean, we're going to try to get it done. We're making progress. It's more difficult than anybody could have.
From presidents.
We inherited the worst border in the history of our country, one of the worst borders, I would say, in the world. I can't imagine any border in the world being worse, when they allowed 25 million people to come in. And again, many of these people are gang members and from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums. And some of the worst people on earth they allowed to come into our country. We're getting a lot of them out. We've made a big dent. And the self-deportation is something nobody talks about, but literally millions of people are self-deporting because they don't want to be captured. Once they're captured, they don't have the chance to self-deport. And they never have the chance to come back into our country. We inherited that border from an incompetent administration and turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. So we took the worst border in the history of our country, and in a period of 2 months, we turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country.
Isn't that crazy? That's what I was saying earlier. It's so crazy that they went from literally the most unsecure border within like a few months, it became the most secure border. It's wild to me. And that's a big deal. That's a huge, huge, big deal. We needed to shut the border. We needed to clean up house, dude. Now we got to clean up in the house. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to look around and see what the hell's going on and get rid of the bad apples.
Country. During this time, we've also achieved a 50% drop in the amount of fentanyl coming across the border, and China is working with us very closely on bringing down the number and the amount of fentanyl that's being shipped. You know, fentanyl is very bad when you mix it with certain ingredients, but it also is very important for medicine, for anesthesias, various other things. I want people to understand that. It's not made necessarily for bad. When it's mixed with certain things, it becomes bad. And that's what's taking place in Mexico. And we've got it down to a much lower number, not satisfactory.
Dream Big Dreams is a Trump hater and a beta male.
You are a Trump hater and you're a beta male.
Says Trump is the most uneducated, stupid, and moronic buffoon. Let's put your thing up on the screen. The most uneducated. So tell us, are you educated?
But it will be satisfactory soon. In May, we executed the largest fentanyl bust in the history of the U.S., seizing 3 million fentanyl pills all at one time. Think of that, 3 million pills. It's amounted to billions of dollars worth of drugs. And last month, we seized another 1.7 million fentanyl pills in the state of Colorado, the poorly run state of Colorado, with a
Oh, thanks, Boo-Boo. I didn't see. What was Leon even doing? I didn't see it.
Governor who's incompetent. And frankly, with a governor that won't allow our wonderful Tina to come out of a jail, in a high-intensity jail, because she caught people cheating on an election, and they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating. She went over, she looked at...
See, again, they got nothing to say, but they just say, Trump is this, Trump is that. No actual substance.
One of the election scams going on. And because she did that, they put her in jail for 9 years. The governor of Colorado is a weak and pathetic man who was run by Tren de Aragua, the criminals from Venezuela, took over sections of Colorado, and he was afraid to do anything. But he puts Tina in jail for 9 years because...
Dream is a beta. I curse at Fish for Fun says Dream is a beta. Beta male.
Beta male.
She caught people cheating.
Let's go.
And when she walked over and got involved in it, they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating. She caught people cheating on the election, 2020, along with a lot of other people that cheated on that election. You'll see that coming out more and more. But there's no doubt that America's adversaries are trafficking fentanyl into the United States, in part because they want to kill Americans. If this were a war, that would be one of the worst wars. I believe they killed, over the last 5 or 6 years.
Guys, if you're watching, subscribe. Yeah, dude, hit the button, subscribe to my channel. I'm on live almost every day, guys. Let's go.
Per year, 200 to 300,000 people. You hear about 100,000, which is a lot of people. But the number's much higher than that. That's been proven. And they've destroyed a lot of families. Because when they lose a child, or even if their child is heavily addicted, you lose that family. The family will never be the same. That's why today I'm taking one more step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding into our...
Definitely a false flag. What's a false flag?
Country. With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is. No bomb does what this is doing. 200 to 300,000 people die every year.
Steve is right. Steve is right.
That we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of...
You know, I love it. You got the Democrats talking about Trump is uneducated. Well, he's your president, buddy, and he's your daddy. And Trump is your president for the next 3 years. Maybe even in 2028, he'll be your president again. Seems to me, if he's uneducated, seems to me like that's the way to be. Look at you and what you're educated. Are you educated? Where'd that get you? Talking shit on a billionaire president that's been the most America first president on the planet. Look where your education got you. Imagine being the person talking shit on the most successful billionaire president. Think about that for a second. Imagine how much of a loser you are.
Mass destruction. But before I sign the fentanyl order, we will pin these great service members with their medals. And here today are the first 13 warriors who will receive the Mexican Border Defense Medal, which is a big deal. First, I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth and Chairman Kane to say a few words. I'd like to have...
false flag was used on January 6th. Undercover flag agents as Trump breaking shit and Antifa dressed in Trump. Okay, I got it.
Tom Homan, come up, please, if you would. Say a few words.
Guys, fentanyl, I looked it up. It's actually nuts. And I told you guys earlier, for whoever just jumped on the stream right now, fentanyl's wild. I looked it up. You can Google it. You can check it. It kills over 70,000 Americans per year, most of which don't even know they're taking fentanyl. They think they're doing some other thing that it turns out to be fentanyl, and they just quickly OD and die. It's crazy, 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 crazy.
And I want to thank all of the people, Pam and everybody, Stephen Miller, great Stephen Miller, what a job he's doing, for being here. Thank you both. Appreciate it very much. We have so many great people here. But I do want to ask Tom to say a few words also. So, Pete, why don't you start it off, please? Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you. I would echo what you said. This has been a team effort from the beginning. Tom Homan, Terry Cole, Stephen Miller, Pam Bondi, Christy Nome, Customs and Border Patrol, Protection. It has been one team, one mission to get 100% operational control of the southern border. You want to talk about America First, peace through strength and common sense? It all manifests in one basic phrase down there. Border security is national security. And we had the task of 100% control, and because of these men and women back here, we've achieved that. Nobody is crossing the southern border. And I want to give a big shout out to our Northern Command, General Guillot. From day one, they said, our department didn't look at the border this way before you. Joe Biden allowed an invasion of this country. Tens of millions of people, drugs, gangs, violence, and the military jumped to it on day one with our partners. Ultimately, it was incredible Americans. There's 13 up here with us today. They all represent about 2,000 people who've served at the border so far. So 25,000 Americans qualify for this Mexican National Defense Border Medal that we're announcing today. And what's cool about this medal, it was actually first given out in 1918. So we're reviving an old medal that existed, was given to men and women who defended the southern border. We found out about it. We used the exact same foundry with the exact same imagery, same color, same medal, same everything. So our men and women will be wearing that very same medal as Americans 100.
What are these idiots in the chat saying? Chance is saying something about fentanyl. What we said is not true. It's 100% true. What we're saying about fentanyl is 100% true, bro. Look it up.
100 years before, who were asked to defend the sovereignty of our country. President Trump was elected to do that. You have done that, Mr. President. We're proud of this mission. We're proud to defend the American people. And pinning these medals on is an example of how important it is to us. So thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kyle says Chance is an idiot. It sounds like it, bro. I think you're right on that. Yeah. Fentanyl overdoses kill at least 70K or more, 70,000 Americans or more. Those are just what we know of. And majority of those are from people thinking they're taking some other drug, and turns out it's fentanyl and they die. That's what we're talking about. Well, that's a reality. And those are insane numbers. Dude, 72K is the number that's recorded. It's higher, way higher than that. That's insane.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, I want to echo your thanks and gratitude for the joint force. I also want to highlight General Guillot, General Nauman, and Command Sergeant.
Heather says he's not an idiot. You're an idiot for calling your subscribers idiots. Heather, you're an idiot.
Major Johnson, but also leaders at every
You're an
level
idiot.
that came together, not just in our joint force, but in the interagency. And I want to specifically highlight.
And also, Heather,
Satan is your daddy, woman.
Satan is your daddy, woman.
Satan is your daddy, woman. Satan is your daddy, woman.
Our Border Patrol teammates and our Office of Air and Marine teammates who, when I went down to the southern border and visited, were right there next to the Joint Force. I also want to thank not just these 13 individuals, but the Joint Force that was also down there and your families who poured in to make this deployment possible on the southern border. And of course, this time of the year, I'm always thinking about our currently deployed forces who are out there around the world doing.
Bro, you guys are morons. You're keep talking about how could you make it a weapon of mass destruction if it's used in hospitals and da 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 da. Bro, we're not talking about that type of fentanyl. We're talking about the one that's being, brought in here by the cartels. We're talking about the illegal ones, the ones that are selling it as cocaine. That's what we're talking about. Just like, think about it. Is opium legal? No. Is it prescribed to people? Yes. God, you guys are morons.
Doing our nation's business, and of course our fallen and their families who show us what courage and tenacity really are as they move forward after the loss of a service member. So thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Tom Homan, baby. Tom, let's get Tom. Let's get Tom out here.
It's always an honor for me to be in the Oval Office with the greatest president of my lifetime. Yes, I said it, and I meant it.
Hell yeah.
I just got home last night. I toured the border in California, Arizona, and Texas. I did it in four-wheel drive. I did it on the river. I did it from the air. Hundreds upon hundreds of miles of border. I didn't see one illegal alien.
Damn, bro. You hear that? You hear that? Listen to that. Listen to this guy. I went four-wheel drive. I went with by the boat. I went in the sky. I didn't see one illegal alien. Look at this.
Deployed forces who are out there lost on the southern and their family.
I did it from the. I just got home last night. I toured the border in California, Arizona, and Texas. I did it in four-wheel drive. I did it on the river. I did it from the air.
What up, aquarium?
Hundreds upon hundreds of miles of border. I didn't see one illegal alien. Not a single one. I've done this since 1984. I worked for 6 different presidents. No one's done more than President Trump. What he has done is...
That's what we're talking about, baby.
Gave us the most...
Nicolette, if you're talking about me, amazing. Love you.
Secure border in the history of this nation. Hard to stop. I went to hundreds of miles of border and didn't see one illegal alien. Incredible, considering the Biden administration, we had 10, 12,000 a day, most released in the United States. I'm proud to be with these patriots behind me. I'm already proud to be in the Oval Office of the President, but being with these heroes. I met some of these soldiers down on the border. And actually, a shout out to Fort Drum, New York. We got some 10th Mountain Division here, so Elise Stefanik, Claudia Tenney, we all love Fort Drum and the 10th Mountain. So look, this is a game changer. I want to make something perfectly clear, because we get attacked all the time being inhumane. The Biden administration is much more humane. It's a bunch of crap. Because there's been studies done that 31% of women that make that journey through the cartels get sexually assaulted. They get raped. And not just the women, children too. I've done numerous investigations in that. Sex trafficking was at historic highs with that open border. Fentanyl, historic highs that killed 250,000 Americans. No inspector terrorists that came across the border.
Oh, look, Mike Goen looked in the mirror. Look at that.
Record, historic. What happened under the Biden administration was the most inhumane thing I've seen in my lifetime. Now that the border is 96% decline, 96% less people are coming, how many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this country every day? How many known suspected terrorists aren't just walking across that border?
That's what we're talking about, baby. Nicolette, I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. Ice, baby. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
President Trump and this administration is saving thousands of lives every month. Hard stop.
Will you ever stop talking about Trump? All the left does is talk about Trump so much that they forgot how to make any kind of policy or come up with any kind of ideas or come up with any plans or anything to help our country. All they say is orange man bad. And you have the guts to say, will they ever stop talking about Joe Biden? Please.
That's just a stone cold fact.
I'm
just proud to be a part of this. I work with Steve Miller every day. Steve Miller is one of the most brilliant people I've met in my entire life. President Trump brought together one hell of a team here. And the success proved. We all working together, one team, one fight. We're not done yet. We're going to keep going. And I guarantee you, we're going to continue saving thousands and thousands of lives. Secure border means strong national security. Secure border saves lives.
Oh, you know what? He wants us to stop talking about Biden. So let's do this. Let's go here. And then let's go here. And then let's go here. And then let's go here.
Eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
He did do it. What I've been able to.
Let's do this again. Hold on, let's go back again.
What I've been able to do with the. With the COVID, excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
That's your president, bro, right there. That's your Joe Biden. That's your wonderful Democratic Party right there. That's the best they could do. Bunch of losers, bro. Telling us that he's in the best shape of his life. Remember that? Remember that? Look at this guy's face, bro. The guy's gone. Gone, bro. You guys wanted him for another 4 years, you losers. That's what you wanted to run the greatest country in the world. Absolutely moronic. Talk about moronic. Talk about idiocy. You guys wanted this guy to run the greatest country in the world for another 4 years. And when the guy flopped during this interview, you guys decided you're going to slip in an Indian girl that calls herself black. Who maybe is Indian. Who knows if she's black? Who knows anything? Bunch of morons. The girl couldn't even what is one thing that Kamala Harris stood up for? What is one policy that she was gonna help America with? The only thing you guys can remember is the one that she stole from Trump. No tax on tips. Come on, guys.
President Biden, President Trump.
Oh yeah, let's not forget her latest greatest statement she made. She just came out and said, "You know it's cold outside when you go outside and it's cold." I'm gonna block what's his name now? Where is this guy? Saying all these names about pedos and it's not very distasteful. Where is this dude? Where is this clown? Let me see here, bro. Where is this dude?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected.
biggest losers I've ever met in my life.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, let's do the medals, and I'll be signing this. Maybe you'll do the medals first, and then I'll sign.
Was the most inhumane.
Because when they lose their child, or even if they're...
Okay, guys, that's a good show. We still have a lot of people on, but I gotta go. It's 11:30 p.m. It's time to go to bed, guys. Love you guys. Thank you for joining the live stream. For those on the left and the right, let's have some more fun and debate some more. I love it. It's good times. Appreciate you guys for coming. For those of you that subscribed, love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Let's talk some more. Let's debate some more. Let's bring it all out. Let's do it. What's up, Deshaun? Hell yeah, dude. Where you been, bro? Where you been? Dude, let's get together. Let's talk about this stuff. Let's bring it all out. It's all good times. And let's subscribe. Guys, if you haven't subscribe. That way when I go live, you'll see it. You can jump on. We're good to hang out and do this again. Thank you, guys. And I'm going to leave you with this little thing. Check this out on the way out. Here you go. Here's the outro. And it should be 1, 2, 3. See you guys. Bye.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign, securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
We are all Charlie Kirk!
Why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
In that same year, you had the left side destroying Teslas, destroying Tesla buildings, committing violence.
And they used the auto pen and everything. He didn't approve this up. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom.
Racism and stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Military person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicaid, beat it to death.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.
I said there's nobody that could want an open border. Nobody. And now I find out that it wasn't him. He auto-penned it.
But now I know all too well I am a full
full-fledged, hardcore conservative, and I'm proud of it. I mean, my favorite saying is I was born black, not Democrat.
We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news. Thank you. And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you. Thank you.
We are all Charlie Kirk!
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Damn! Can you believe I was a lefty during that debate?
Mind the audience.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
Yeah, but what do you mean by beta male?
A beta male is a male who look like a man but think like a woman, and that's you.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
ha, gotcha.
you have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head.
An example is Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripped